Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first off, I do want to start with this tweet from Kevin Cage, and he's actually talking about Dogecoin. We do see here Dogecoin was made as a joke, has an infinite supply, and is in the top 10. We are still early. I'll be blanketing, across a variety of assets I believe will have true utility at scale. And, he does mention this with XRP, which is, fine. I'm not going to talk down on XRP at all. I think that XRP is an incredible asset. But the reason why I bring this up in a QNT video is because when you actually compare Dogecoin to QNT at the current market cap, QNT would actually be worth $570 per QNT. Now, Dogecoin, for anybody who is, maybe new to crypto, maybe you don't know where, Dogecoin really kind of topped out at, whatever the case may be, Dogecoin topped at 74 cents in the last cycle. This is a $98.2 billion market cap. If QNT was worth $98.2 billion in market cap, we would be sitting at $7,300 in token price, a 70x in regards to upside potential. Now I ask you, do you think that this is unrealistic when you are comparing Quant to Dogecoin? In my opinion, I don't believe that this is unrealistic at all. And honestly, when we look at some of the other major, comparisons down here in regards to the token price, for an example, like Ethereum at $152.8 billion in market cap, the potential price would be about 11.4K per QNT, 109x opportunity. Again, I do believe that a lot of these prices will happen in due time. We don't know exactly when, but I will say this. I'm more so kind of dead set on $98.2 billion being, something that is easily achievable because of the strength of QNT recently with all of these massive bearish events that have happened and occurred so far in this market, and QNT is still sitting at $100. It is insane. I buy this whenever it drops under $100 because we never know what's going to happen next with QNT. It is one of those extremely weird tokens. Will we drop below $100? Will we hit $50? Nobody knows. But I will say this, I do still have stables on the sidelines just in case we do hit those levels. And I'm talking about enough stables to buy 100 to 200 to 300 to possibly even 500 QNT depending on the price. And I am positioned. I'm very well positioned in QNT still because I see the upside potential here. And also talking about QNT, we actually do see over here, we have a little bit of a tweet talking about a little reminder of why I'm invested into QNT. And this is from M. Davis over here, but we do see QNT Token Overview, and it really kind of just talks about some of the major use cases of the QNT token itself. Again, Overledger is not the same as QNT, but Overledger is essentially powered by QNT, which is why we always bring it up in conversation. And we also do see a little bit of a response down here, mentioning some of the major companies that already kind of are tied to Quant. And yeah, they are some of the largest names in the game. I mean, we really kind of looked at Hyperledger just recently. Alliance Block is doing very well within, what they're trying to do between the traditional finance scene and the DeFi scene. And of course, Oracle, PayUK, all of these major names tied together are igniting a major transformation. And then, of course, you do see the Overledger operating system connecting to Hyperledger Fabric, Ethereum, and even Corda up there. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, honestly, I have to remind myself of, why I need to invest even more into QNT, not why I'm invested in, because I know exactly why I'm invested into QNT. I just always have that itch to buy as much as I possibly can because I don't know, I don't know what QNT is going to be worth tomorrow or next week. This is just a weird token. It does not care about what this market does. And it also kind of gives you a little bit of a question that you need to ask yourself. Is QNT being utilized on a massive scale right now that is holding the price above $100? Nobody knows for certain. We can only speculate so much. And then over here, we do see just in the United Nations, 100 plus blockchain initiatives bring together a 100 plus networks and platforms to form an ecosystem. Shout out to Sun NL11 for this. And to reach the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs, can QNT play a role? And this is a thread of 1 of 5. But listen closely, this is about 13 seconds long.
Assembly. is to bring together 100 plus networks and platforms to envisage a blockchain ecosystem and its situation room in support of the UN Charter Values and the Sustainable Development Goals. Assembly.
And then down here we do see, we know QNT is involved in the UN when it comes to blockchain trade and interoperability. Gilbert advises them. We do see looking forward to the UN ICC workshop today, talking about how DLT can be an enabler of the cross-border trade, payments, and interoperable CBDCs. And this goes all the way back to 2021. Then down here, QNT is also active in ESG, environmental, social, and government. And as you guys do see down here, blockchain and ESG. And then there are 100 plus initiatives likely on many different DLTs, public and private, creating a platform of ecosystems. This is exactly what QNT Overledger Network has been doing for the last 4 years in every industry. And you guys do see down here, here are the major connections to some major names within the network of networks, if you will. You do see Contour, Marco Polo, GSBN, Alastria, Mobi, Comgo, Spunta, and even, Pharma Ledger. Like, these are some of the biggest names around these blockchain initiatives that are connecting 100 plus major names around the entire world in many different industries and sectors, and it is a very exciting time. When we do see summary, QNT is active in sustainability. Gilbert has an advisory role in relation to blockchain to the UN, who is, talking or taking this initiative. They have the tech ready, the track record, and know how to create this platform of ecosystems on DLT and blockchains. And to add, there will be many tech suppliers in these kind of initiatives. No project has the manpower to handle and build it all. It will be a one giant collaboration for our planet. And yes, I do believe that this is also why I think everyone should pay attention to a lot of these utility gems. Don't just stack just one, stack many of them. There's so many great opportunities in this, market. It doesn't hurt to be diversified a little bit. Yes, you could still over diversify, and that is a big problem. Just make sure that you are choosing about like 1 to 5 good, very, very good projects, by the way. And you are diversifying your portfolio within those 5. You could even have like 5 to 10. Like 5 to 10 is a pretty good area. But I always say, like, 5 is the sweet spot. It doesn't, you could focus a lot better on it. But also, we do see over here, I bet majority of the crypto Twitter don't know how huge is, 6 Digital Exchange, SDX, their collaboration with QNT and them tagging QNT. Yeah, please keep sleeping while the smart money accumulates Quant big time. Shout out to Crypto Nerd over here, but we do see down here, are traditional finance and DeFi on course for convergence or collision? We just talked about this the other day. This is at QuarterCon 2022. And yeah, this is the head of strategy at SDX, panel organized by Future of Finance and Traditional Finance, are traditional finance and DeFi on the course for convergence or collision. Now, we bring up SDX quite a bit. And a lot of people who are new to the channel, or maybe you're new to, QNT, you might not know about SDX. You might not even know about 6 Digital Exchange. How big are they? Well, in order to actually understand it, you need to look at this project. Shout out to Dread Bongo. This goes all the way back to February of 2021. So over a year and over a year and a half ago. To help understand the scale of 6 Digital Exchange, take a look at Project Helvetia, POC between the Bank of International Settlements, the Swiss National Bank, and 6 themselves on settling tokenized assets and central bank money using DLT. Huge, and yeah, look closely at this. So first off, Project Helvetia, if you guys do see, this is an innovation hub between the BIS and 6, settling tokenized assets in central bank money. And then on the next slide here, you do see a little bit of discussion between some of these major names. You kind of see the confirmation. DLT is at the forefront of it all. Proof of concept 1 and 2. So first, trading and settlement of tokenized assets, SDX, proof of concept number 1. So this is the examples of proof of concept number 1. You do see the cash leg, wholesale CBC, tokenized assets, and then SDX at the bottom. Proof of concept number 1, 4 use cases investigated, and here are the 4: issuance of wholesale CBC, redemption of wholesale CBC, delivery versus payment, settlement of tokenized assets against wholesale CBC, transfer of wholesale CBC or wholesale CBC payment, and then over here we also do see proof of concept number 2, S and B. You do see all of this kind of running through the Swiss RTGS system, which is the real-time gross settlement system with SIC, and then tokenized assets with SDX. At the end of the day, both concepts do hold a pretty fair amount of disruption to tokenization, which is key here, and it is all kind of centered around DLT. And then we do see, one use case investigated from proof of concept number 2, delivery versus payment settlement of tokenized assets against SIC balances. Now, how large of a company is SDX? Well, SDX is actually it's a company that is with Six. So Six is a different group of. It's still the same group. It's just this is like a little bit of like Six is the parent company of what Six Digital Exchange actually is, if you will. But they have been talking about digitization, value transfer, all that kind of stuff for a very long time on the Six Digital Exchange website, as well as they do have a ton of documents and blogs on Web3 services, institutional clients, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, how large is SDX, or I should say Six as a company? Well, the group, you guys can see some of the numbers here. This is pretty big in regards to the amount of money and all that kind of stuff here. But what I really want to talk to you guys about is the names down here. So here's their strategy. Six was established by over 120 financial institutions with the purpose of strengthening the competitiveness of its owners, clients, and financial markets in general. Their role has been rigorously pursuing since its inception. However, as new technologies allow for groundbreaking innovations that will lead towards the transformation of the entire financial market infrastructure landscape, Six must rethink how to best fulfill that role in the future. And there's a few things that they do look down here in regards to targets, and you guys can see a few of them. They do mention digital assets. For an example, financial center and economy maintain a secure, stable, and efficient infrastructure for conventional and also digital assets. And you guys can see some of the major moves down here that they are looking at. At the end of the day, yeah, they're going to be at the forefront of the digitized move. This is the biggest innovation, ever in history. So I think everyone should definitely be paying attention to what is happening about, around crypto. I always try to tell people as much as possible about what is happening. I don't tell them, to invest their money or anything like that, but I definitely think everyone should be paying attention to what is happening around crypto because, again, this is like a historical moment in time. But we do see down here, security services from clearing and settlement through the custody, collateral management, and repo transactions. Six offers the complete spectrum of post-trade services and more along the entire value-added chain, doing so in more than 50 countries worldwide. So not only do they have a connection to 120 plus financial institutions, but they are also worldwide in 50 plus countries, which is incredible. And they also do mention, Six Digital Exchange. We are defining the securities value chain of the future, and this is all through digitization, tokenization, all that special noise that everyone is so used to hearing about crypto. I definitely think that this is a big name in the game. I think that Six as a parent company to the SDX is pretty big, and you can actually check out some of their board of directors. For example, they are very, very high up individuals. For example, you can actually look at all of their backgrounds. A lot of them do come from some pretty high up positions within the banking sector. You can actually see some of their activities and stuff down here as well. Very transparent. Everything around this is very transparent, and a lot of them, like I said, come from very, pretty high up positions. Most of these are major banks like Deutsche Bank, for example. And it goes on and on and on. The list is very substantial around a lot of these major names. And this is just like one of many companies that are already tied to Quant, which will domino effect into hundreds to like maybe even thousands of major financial institutions and banking clients. And I share with you guys one last official tweet, and this is actually from CryptoSec over on Twitter. And we do see here Six Digital Exchange. And they do mention QNT here. I know that they also mention Bitcoin, they also mention blockchain, digital assets, etc. But this goes back to February of 2021. Again, the same time frame that Dread Bongo did tweet this tweet around the DLTs. Again, QNT to me are going to be working with Six Digital Exchange. In some way possible, they are most likely going to be interconnecting the DLT process around that to some of their major institutional grade clients. A lot of things are moving very rapidly behind the scenes. It's a very silent takeover from Quant's side, but the price action definitely solidifies where Quant is, being held within this market, and it is a very strong asset. And I do think that the future is very bright around some of these major price action moves. To me, my base point on QNT is that it will be a $1 trillion asset in the future, long term. We don't know what the time frame is on that, but we do know that it is inevitable, in my opinion, especially if we are looking at the adoption cycle for crypto. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to the notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As it's up to you all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this beautiful world, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.